Hey, what's going on, guys? Today is Sunday, January 10th, 2016. I'm going to be trying to go over the weekly trade ideas for this week. Obviously, this is the first trade idea video for this year. Last year's videos, obviously, at the end got messed up with the low volume and everything. So let's start off fresh this year and see how this goes. First on the list for this week is VRX. VRX broke the 50 EMA here to the downside, so I'm actually looking for it to pop back up to the 50 EMA and then pull back down into the 80s. I'm looking at mid 80s, low 80s on this one on VRX. DWTI, obviously bullish engulfing up at the top over there. Hanging Man was my signal for the short test on Friday when I played it, but now coming into the week, I'm looking at this one to pop a little bit off again, just based off the bullish engulfing up at the top there. It negates the Hanging Man signal. So let's look for a pop here, push back to that 293 top, and see if it double tops up there to 293, and then we could bring this baby back down into like the 230s or 240s for a swing short. So this is going to be a nice one if we catch it at the right point, right at the double top at 293. So we'll be looking at this one for sure, DWTI. Next on the list is Tesla. Tesla, huge bearish engulfing candle right over here. Obviously broke all the trends to the downside, even the lowest one that it had. So let's look for this one to pop back over here. Maybe give us into the 213, 214 range, just off some short covering. Come back in here and then short this baby down to about 202. Should be fun. Solar City. Let's look at this one. I love the fact that this just sitting on the 200 EMA over here. So let's see it move off of that. I would like to see it obviously come through. It tested the 13 right there, but I'm not a huge fan of that. So maybe if it pushes a little bit, see if we could trend something here. If it pushes a little bit up to this range here, right, should get us into this zone over here. Pushes up to about 51 or so. If it does not break, it's going to pull back down and probably come back and retest these areas here. But if it pulls right off here and retests this 200 and double bottom, I would definitely say take some long for that anticipated $60 push. So here's how I would play it. If it opens lower, look for that pullback to the 200 for a double bottom over here. If it opens higher, look for it to hold this trend over here as you play it on the upside. Once it holds this trend over here, so if it opens higher and it pulls and it just opens right at like 48.96 and holds into that range over here, then I just take some long anticipating this breakout. If it opens lower, we'll look for a double bottom down here at the 200, which is at 46.25. Should have a nice move on that, either to the upside or a downside. On the downside, you're looking at 36. On the upside, you're looking at 60, and you're right in between there. So just try to figure out which way you want to get into the play. If it holds the 200 EMA over here, then obviously you're staying with it long. If it fails, you make sure you short that thing back to 36. So should be a fun play either way, up and down, or down. ESPR obviously breaking all trends to the downside here. Buyers have been taking a hit. Lost the 50 a long time ago, lost the 13 a while ago, lost the 8. So she's just down, but Stochastics is saying she's kind of oversold here a little bit. MACD's still got some to go down, so I'm thinking it pulls down a little bit more on ESPR. If you get within that 15 range, though, I would definitely take some. What you should be looking at right now, though, in play is maybe a temporary bounce here, coming off of this possible double bottom vicinity. It's obviously not a double bottom point, but it's a double bottom vicinity, so it should be taken in consideration that it could pop up to the $19 or $20 range before it pulls further back down. But once it comes back down, I'm really feeling this in the $15 range. I have a monthly chart that I've been looking at for this one, and that's kind of where I would want to take some if I did take some. Gpro. She's obviously in an interesting double bottom area there. Obviously the price targets were pretty high on this one. So let's look for a double bottom here, right at that $15.85 for a bounce. once you pull back down to that 1585, you should get a nice bounce up to about 17 or $18 here. If it comes up to 1975, which is right on the 50 EMA here, if it comes up to that area and can't push through, just let it come back down. And then if it gets rejected hard over here, I think it actually breaks this low and pulls back down even further than that 15. But let's look for a pop off this possible double bottom first. Of that range right there, look for a pop off that range first, back maybe for a point or two, and then we'll play it from there. It depends on how strong it goes up into that break. Okay, Time Warner cable. Well, Time Warner cable right here. Time Warner cable, very nice little push up over here. Obviously a little overextended at this point. So let it just spike its last little spike here up to 74, 75, somewhere around there. So if you get a trend on this, let it just spike up a little bit more and slap that 200 EMA over there. And once it hits that, it's gonna come back down. It's gonna slap here, then it's gonna come back down into this area over here. So it's like a 2-point, 3-point move to the upside. And then bring it back down here for 2 or 3 points to the downside. Move this back to 6. Okay. What am I looking at? Pen. Bullish engulfing on the daily over here. Chart's really just, it's up, it's down, it's just kind of hanging over here. I mean, decent decent hold in a really nasty market that we've been having, right? So, what you're looking for on pen is you're gonna be looking ultimately for this $51 break over $56 breakout over here to the upside, and your target will be in the $60 range. Now if it can't break above there, okay, so let's see how I would play this. There, closed there. Let's see a pullback to maybe about $54, and then if that holds, we use the bottom over here, $53.15 as your support or as your stop. And so you enter close to 13 there, anticipating this break to the upside over here. So if you get the pullback closer to that $54 marker, you can take some long over here and risk down to 53.11, which would provide pretty good support down here. And then you'll be playing obviously the flag and the breakout potential to the upside towards 60. Run is a little small one, nice, decent, obviously had a good run up over here. Pull back, closed over the 200, which is pretty good. Interesting candles coming up here, so see how we would play this. Let's just play this off the Harami, the bullish Harami over here, and the fact that it closed over the 200. So let's play run for a pullback, maybe a little bit pullback here. Maybe 10-15 cent pullback to that 200. If that 200 holds, which is sits at $9.64, if that 200 holds for support, then expect a nice bounce on that for 1 point to $10.67. Here's your downtrend on run, which is a pretty tight situation, right? So look at that situation right there. Obviously it closed under the downtrend, so any push over there, pullback over here, retest the line and then push it up here. It should be a nice flag breakout. If you can smallen that up a little bit, you'll see how you can actually see the push coming if it decides that it wants to break and hold, push over the flag. So it should be a nice little play if you get the breakout of this trend. You ultimately obviously have the 50 EMA here, which is at $8.38. That's your ultimate stop if you come into this trade. So your target on this one for now is just 1 point. Your risk right now would be too much at 1 point, so wait for a gap up first to confirm the Harami. Once you get the gap up, then play the pullback and then play the push over. So that's 9. Okay, here is Sage. Sage have been an ATM for my videos. And I took note of this because I had to, because I just keep playing this one over and over and it's just panning out perfectly. On 12/6/15 video, I said to go long on Sage, which was sitting right over here over the 50 EMA. So I said to wait for a pullback, let it retest the 50 EMA, then go long. And obviously that one really paid off. On 1220 video, 1220, which was here, I said wait for a pop to 63 and then short it. It came up to about, let's see, 62, 67, somewhere around there, and then short it. So obviously that's where it's at. I mean, like, really nice move up, really nice move down, and that was just a couple weeks of playing that one. Now obviously Sage is back on my chart again. Bearish engulfing right there, so I'm not a huge fan of that, but I do expect to pop off of this trend line over here. So let's see if we can if it can get a little pop off this range here. If it does not get a pop off the range, then you obviously you can cut it real quick because it's right up against that trend. Stochastics are oversold. So if you don't get a pop right off that trend, then obviously just cut it quick, and then you can short it if it retests the trend to more downside. But if you get a nice pop off of this, it's definitely worth about 6 points. So it's worth looking at least. Okay, so at least have it on your side chart. She's been really good to us for the last two times that I've played it. So it's definitely something to look at. Some stuff to look at this week. There's quite a nice bunch of them. KMI is one. It's Kinder and Morgan. So double bottom possibility over here. Obviously the chart's kind of basin down at the bottom, so you know you would look for a decent move here. Inverted hammer, gap up above it. Look for a basin over here. Maybe if you do take some, anticipate maybe a $15 or $16 move. So has a couple points on it, and the risk obviously is down to the double bottom here, which is not that much risk for an upside move. Another one you should look at is GBT, bullish harami down at the bottom there. Chart's obviously beaten down, so look for a quick pop on that one, maybe to about 25 or so. That one's good for a couple, maybe a day trade type deal, but should definitely look at that. Obviously, and also, sorry, you can look at EFOI sitting on the 50 EMA, bullish harami right there on the 50 EMA, so you can definitely look at that. Sorry, on the 200 EMA. Last time it came down to the 200, it really had a nice move off of it. Back now to retest the 200 EMA. Breakout is really close there. Risk is very minimal. So you can definitely look at this one and maybe consider it. Not maybe as a swing, but definitely it'll be in play. Could be this week, depends on how the market moves up. Okay, so as far as the market goes, obviously market's been horrible. If you're a bull, if you're a bear, market's been great. I'm neither, but I do play UVXY a lot, so the market's been great to me. It's been my best trading week actually, so we'll see how it works out. As far as the market goes, right now, it's I think it's a little bit oversold, and I would definitely like to see a quick pop. So yeah, I would like to see a quick pop on this market over here early in the week. I mean, early in the day on Monday. I'd like to see a quick pop. Let's see. See on a wider chart, what are we looking at? Obviously the chart broke some very important areas of support to the downside. Let's see if we can find some support down here. You might be able to pick up some support down here from this market though. If you look at these areas right there, and if you look at, and I'll pin it because you can pin it from right there. Okay, so you can find a couple areas of support there. You found it as resistance here and as not even support there because it came right through it. But that would be the only line right there that it could possibly bounce off for now. Other than that, it's just going to pull back into a little bit lower, maybe into the 80s here. So For now, I'm playing a bounce off the market, just short cover and pop, plus obviously one area of support there. And so that's the way I'm going to play it. A bounce off the market, so that'll obviously pull my pull volatility down a little bit. And that's how I'm going to play this. Obviously, there's a bullish engulfing over here, signaling that this could just pop over here on Monday, which would totally negate the whole SPY thing. And then it would bring SPY down actually to about that range here, which would actually give a better support. Interested. Okay. Let me see, maybe I could just, I haven't really looked at that one yet. I actually didn't look at either one of these. Okay, let's see how to play this. Okay, really, you know what? I'll still stick with it. Slight bounce on SPY, and even though there's a bullish engulf in here telling me that this is gonna go up more, I expect maybe some sellers to come in and probably bring it back down a little bit. So I'll stick with what I'm staying. A slight bounce on SPY, and then we'll figure out which direction she wants to go in. So a pullback on UVXY. And that's how I'm gonna play that. So anyways, that's the video for January 10th, 2016. Hope we can get some good trades out of this one. Obviously, I'll be picking up a couple of them. I don't tell you before the week start which ones I'm gonna be playing, but I do have a couple that I am looking for, especially if they hit my target areas. And then I'll tell you which one I picked next week. So that's it for today. Obviously, if you do not follow me on Twitter, you probably should. And that's my handle right there, at BarryMohan81. Okay? So, have a good one, guys.